It's time for Remodel Revolution. And now, an award-winning contractor with over 40 years experience. Here is Alex Guthrie.
Welcome to another episode of Remodel Revolution. I'm your host, Alex Guthrie. We're coming to you from deep in the heart of the great state of Texas, from the world headquarters of Remodel Revolution Show. I'm so glad you're here with us today. I have a couple of really interesting people with me. We're going to talk with Ross Mason with EarthX, and we're going to talk with JJ Dankbaar from Smurfit Kappa. They're an environmentally packaging company. It's a very interesting story about their company, and this is all part of the EarthX event that's coming up. We'll get the dates to you in a minute. Now, question number one. Have you been quarantined? I hope not. It's sort of a intimidating thing we're all going through right now. And I have a monologue I want to read to you this morning. I don't normally do monologues, but I thought this one might be appropriate time to do it. Throughout the course of history, from the very existence of life on this planet, there have been plagues, pandemics, and other life-threatening events. During the short time I've been alive, we have survived droughts, tornadoes, wars, the very real threat of nuclear annihilation, and our own stupidity and carelessness as modern human beings. In other words, for the most part, we have managed to survive as a species despite ourselves, despite our mismanagement and our lack of respect for the fragility of life and the environment. Nobody appreciates how precious and tentative life is more than those who have experienced the possibility of losing it, either personally or watching how close we've come to simply destroying it. This can be the best time to face a pandemic of this type in human history because of technological advances we have at our disposal, or the most difficult time to face a pandemic because of the overreaction and fear. We are fortunate to live in a time when most of us haven't been challenged with having to fight for our survival. Most of us have lived blissfully, worrying about other things. As I always remain the optimist, and I feel like when we are put to the task as a species, we will overcome these challenges because that is what we have done throughout history. It is prudent to be decisive and proactive, and it is challenging to realize that we're going to have to take responsibility for our own survival during these times. In other words, we can't depend on someone else to be responsible for our needs, and we must be proactive, yet not panic. It's a fine line, but it is necessary that we stay in control of our emotions. And as in the past, we will overcome these challenges. It is time to come together as a community and a society, ignore the politics and the fear-mongering, and get in touch with our own instincts. Most importantly, it is time for us to take care of each other, not to be afraid to be brave. Those are my thoughts on coronavirus, and I hope it means something to you. Contact me on Facebook, leave a message, or send me an email, alex@remodelrev.com. Tell me your thoughts. I'd like to know, and we'll read them on next week's show. So, now, let's get on with the show. We're going to do a remodeling tip this morning. This is all kind of our coronavirus show today at the very beginning of the show before we get to the EarthX part. So I would like to talk a little bit about food storage and management because I went to the doctor last week and I was kind of half-heartedly joking with my doctor about this whole thing, and he really laid into me and told me how serious it was. It convinced me it was serious, so I think we all need to definitely pay attention to what's going on. But the first thing I did, of course, when I left the doctor is I called my wife and I said, "You need to go grocery shopping. We're in trouble." And so, and the first thing she said is, "Well, where are we going to put it?" And so I thought this might be a good opportunity to talk about creating an emergency storage space in your home. As I assume that a whole lot of people have the same questions that we have. We all have it because none of us have had to do this before in this country. We're very, very fortunate. It's interesting when I went to Costco, which I did that very same day, I saw a lot of people that I knew had come from other countries and they knew what to get. They were buying bulk products and they were buying products that normal people that are raised in this country that we're in don't buy always. I mean, I don't normally buy 40 pounds of rice. It's just not on my list of things to do. But I saw a lot of other people from other countries doing that. And I thought, I need to follow these people and get what they're getting. They know what to do. So I wanted to talk about some different ways to store food in your home because there's some good advice out there. There's also some advice that's not particularly helpful in this instance. So there's two different things to think about. When you're doing this for a natural disaster type thing, like a tornado, hurricane, something like that, then there's one set of rules for storing food and one, certain types of things that you'll get. But when we're talking about essentially storing food for a quarantine type thing where you're just going to be stuck in the house and you can't go and shop, then that's a whole different deal. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So ways to store food. The best thing that I have found, and I've done quite a bit of research on it, are the big tubs, the big plastic tubs that you can get with a lid. They are perfect for what you want. And if you get a clear one, then you can actually label them and store certain types of food in those tubs, and you can see inside the tub, so you know what's in it. If you're like a lot of us, most of us aren't that organized. And so for me, I will just be putting stuff in there and look through it and see if it's in there. That's just how I am. On the other hand, you might want a dark plastic, one that light doesn't go through, for certain foods that are sensitive to spoilage with sunlight or any kind of natural light. So those are the two tub issues, and then items. And then you can get, of course, smaller containers that can go in those tubs to organize better. The thing I like about those tubs is you can stack them. So if you have a room that you have tall ceilings in, or you can stack 2 or 3 of them on top of each other without them collapsing. The other thing I really like about them is that they're reusable. I actually went through because I saw a neighbor of mine that had completely organized their garage in those tubs. It was amazing. I was really impressed. I did the same thing. So I actually already have a bunch that I can use. So anyway, try the plastic tubs with the lids. They work really well. And then you're going to have to find some places in your house actually to put things. And a lot of us we just don't have the room. The closets are full. We may not have a spare bedroom, but there are places that you can store food and food items inside. Now, first, I want to tell you, don't be too dependent on storing certain things in an unconditioned area. It's not a good thing to store in the attic, particularly in this part of the country where it gets so hot. And then in the garage is really never really a great place for food. But there are other things, obviously, that you can store. Just be careful about putting food out there in the heat because it'll break it down. If you have room under the beds, go in your bedrooms, you've got a huge space that you're not using, unless, of course, you've got kids, and who knows what's under the bed, but clear it out. So you can go under the beds. You can reorganize your closets. This is a great time to do some spring cleaning, some organizing. One thing that you can do is get rid of a bunch of those old clothes you don't need and take them down and give them to the needy. There's a lot of places to do that. You can help some other people out that need them. Take that extra space and use it for food storage. That's exactly what I did in my house. I have a extra little closet, and I actually bought some of those survival food kits years ago. Still have them in the plastic tub. I hope I never have to use it because I have no idea what it's going to taste like. But I've got it in case I have to have it. Well, you get down to that and you're in trouble. Uh, Make sure that you have a few items. We're going to go to the doctor, or we're going to call the doctor, and we're going to get him to prescribe a 90 days on all of our meds so that we just don't have to worry about that again. Also, make sure that you have the regular emergency items I'm always talking about this time of year because of tornadoes. Make sure you have batteries, you have extra reading glasses, you have your meds have to be caught up with, have some extra toothpaste, the things that you would normally go to the grocery store for. Make sure you have extra. And what we've done is the last few weeks, when we go to the grocery store, we just buy a couple of extra of everything. We're not going to, buy $500 worth of stuff and load up 3 baskets and clean the shelves off. That's just not a smart way to do it. Just buy a couple of extra things of staples. Get some extra spaghetti. I told my wife, go get us some pasta, because pasta fills you. So, if you're stuck in the house and you start running low on stuff, that pasta can be very, very helpful. Beans are very good. And beans and pasta together are a great food group, a very healthy food group. So think about things like that. Canned goods will last a long time, but get the things that you eat every day. Don't go and don't get things that will spoil. Don't depend on your freezer. Your freezer is not the best place to depend on for survival type food. Although we're not anticipating electrical issues or not having water. Speaking of water, you don't need to go out and hoard water. It is not necessary. Our water is fine. We're not saying you're going to be out of water. So don't do that. When I went into Costco the other day, there was no dry goods left, and they were limiting your water to 2 cases because people were going in there buying cases and cases of water. Your drinking water is going to be fine. Nobody's talking about that. We're just talking about other things. Our utilities should be working fine. Don't hoard that stuff. Quit it. Get hairspray. So I have a real quick, I want to go over a list I came up with of if you're quarantined for 14 days, which seems to be the time frame they're giving us or locking us up for. Here's a few things you can do to kill a little time. Get the honeydew list out. What the heck? Now, guys, I'm sorry. I know you may be thinking, gosh, man, 2 weeks of sports. No. You're going to paint the bedroom, buddy. So while you're out getting stuff, go to the Oops Paint counter, the Oops Paint shelving at Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever you are, or even at the local paint store, and get some of that $3 a gallon paint and paint the bedroom. So you're reusing something. You're buying something that was a oops paint, is where it's a mixed wrong color that someone didn't buy, and you can get it really cheap. So do that. Get you some oops paint, paint a bedroom. Clean out your closets. Like I was saying earlier, clean those closets out. Take the old clothes down and help somebody else. There's plenty of people living on our sidewalks that would love to have your clothes, trust me. And you need to clean it out anyway. It probably smells like an old sock in there. I know. Hey, it's been winter time. If you want to call it winter in Dallas, it's been winter time. Clean out the fireplace. You've been those 3 days, cold days we had this winter. You may have had a fire in there. So clean out the ashes out of the fireplace. Clean out the garage. That's a good project to do while you're quarantined. Here's a great job for Dad. Replace the guts of the leaky toilet. I have one in my house. I've been putting it off for a while, but I'm reminded of it daily. I got a great project for you. This is something the whole family can do. Put new hardware on the cabinet doors, drawers. It's easy to do. It's fun. So you're going to go and get new little pulls and do a little update along with the repaint. It's amazing. And also, last but not least, it is springtime. It's a great time for spring cleaning. And instead of trying to do it all in 3 days, just spread it out over 2 weeks. That's a good quarantine job. So that's our first segment today. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Ross Mason and JJ Dankbaar. The hardest working and arguably most important system in our homes is our air conditioning and heating system. It heats the air, it cools the air, and it filters the air. That's why it's so critical to have it checked and maintained by the very best professionals available. It's time to contact Total Air and Heat at totalair.com. Get that system pruned and tuned. If you want to have the very best experience, you've got to hire the very best company. Total Air's employees are honest, well-trained, and thoroughly background checked. I never have to worry about sending their technicians out to my clients' homes. Family owned and operated for 3 generations, Total Air and Heat has been a fixture in North Dallas for over 60 years. Total Air is a proud dealer of the Trane air conditioning systems, and you know how hard it is to stop a Trane, so give them a call at 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020, or contact them at totalair.com today. I keep seeing people on the internet asking about podcasts. What's the next podcast I should listen to? I can't believe they're running out of them, but hey, that's fine with me. I got a great podcast for you. It's called Remodel Revolution. We are on Pandora, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes. I guess they're still on iTunes. I don't know. We are on probably 15 different podcast platforms. If you can't find us, send me an email. Let me know, and I'll get on that platform for you if that's the one you listen to the most. So check out our podcast, subscribe to it. We need more audience, and I'll tell you, our audience is growing pretty quickly. It's pretty amazing. And so check us out there, and also go to our YouTube site, our YouTube channel, Remodel Revolution Radio on YouTube, and you can catch all of these videos, and we're going to start editing the videos and putting some new videos up as well. So I'd like to introduce our guest today, Ross Mason. Ross R. Mason Ravi, right? Do you go by Ravi?
No.
No, just, what is that?
I don't know where that came from.
Wow, it's on there.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I've known Ross a long time. I just didn't know his name.
But you got it right, Ross R. Mason.
Yeah. You were with EarthX.
Yes, I am.
And you guys are about to have like a big thing.
The world's largest environmental expo, conference, film festival.
Right here in little old Dallas, Texas.
Who would have imagined?
Who would have thunk?
Yeah.
Yeah, really. I mean, the epicenter of oil and horribleness.
We think it's actually the best place to have what we do.
Yeah. Well, you've got like the who's who of the environmental world.
That's right.
Coming to this event and sponsoring this event.
And we're really excited this year because it's the 50th anniversary of Earth Day.
50th.
So our origin started with the Earth Day celebration.
Wasn't it like, is it not the same thing as Tree Day or Tree something?
Arbor Day?
Arbor Day.
No, that's separate.
That's different. Okay, I'm
But
sorry. I had them mixed up.
Trees are the answer. It's
Yeah.
one of the things that we talk about all the time.
Yeah. So let's talk about some events you have. First of all, let's talk about dates. Well,
Yeah.
you wanted to say something about coronavirus.
Well, our event is April 17th through the 26th because it incorporates the film festival that goes on for 10 days around the event. So we're talking about late April. And obviously, with the coronavirus, we are very concerned. But we are paying attention to daily announcements and developments. We're very much in tune with, in touch with the city of Dallas and what their plans are. And
because it is being held at
at Fair Park.
At Fair Park, and so it's on city
It's
property.
on city
Yeah,
property, and so we may not be able to control how that evolves. But like you, I'd like to read, what our stance is.
Okay.
Just one short piece of it, and that is that EarthX is committed to ensuring our response during this challenging time is responsibly based in facts, not driven by fear. And I loved what you were sharing, Alex, because we may or may not be able to control what happens by the end of April. However, we are very hopeful that things will be better understood, better coordinated, and that a large event such as ours, we're actually expecting over 200,000 people this year.
Is that the largest event in Dallas?
It's the largest
gotta be.
environmental event in the world.
That's
And
amazing.
last year we had 177,000 people. But what I took from the tips that you were providing, which I thought were excellent. In a lot of ways, we focus on educating the world, educating consumers on how they can be better attentive to the environment. And a lot of the tips that we share also, like you did earlier on preparing for this situation, is how can we change what we're doing every single day
Absolutely.
to better take care of the environment. And so in a lot of ways, being forced into a position like this causes people to reassess how they are acting, the daily habits that they have, and guess what? We all need to be doing that for the environment also.
And each other.
Yeah.
And each other. I mean, the thing that always comes to the forefront for me during these types of challenges that we have is it's time for us to coalesce around each other, take care of each other.
That's right.
We don't do that enough. And the weird thing about this that is scary to me is that they're telling us don't touch, don't talk, don't be together. Go to your little safe space and don't be around each other. And I'm sure, and it's great advice. I'm not saying it's not good advice. It's sad. It's sad. But we still have to find a way to not lose that ability with each other as human beings.
That's right.
We can't just say, hey, I'm shutting my front door. See you in a couple weeks.
We need each other.
We do. We depend on that.
And it'll be a little bit awkward. I was at an event last night and, everybody was sort of practicing the nod hello or, elbow bump.
Tapping your toes.
Yeah.
Did you tap your toes?
So I'm sure we'll find ways to interact with one another in a respectful manner while being safe.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of going to have to. We have to do what we have to do. Let's talk about your event.
Yeah, we are very, very excited about
Yeah.
this year because it is the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. And the founder of Earth Day, the man that brought it about was a man named Gaylord Nelson, who 50 years ago was an advocate for paying a lot more attention to what we are doing in the environment. And we're very excited that his daughter, his surviving daughter, is going to be at a banquet that we're holding on Earth Day, Wednesday, the 22nd. It'll be a banquet at the Anatole Hotel, and she will be there talking about his visions and a lot of the things that have transpired. So we're very, very proud and excited about that.
Is this a public? I mean, obviously
Yes.
you have to purchase a
You can purchase a ticket,
yeah,
and
but
that's
it's
online.
Basically a public event.
That's right. It's
Wow.
a public event, and anyone can come. We're expecting a lot of people at that banquet. We're very excited about that. The week of EarthX is kicked off, actually the weekend before, with the launch of our film festival. And the film festival, film and now XR, we call it, but interact virtual reality experiences help people, help young kids, help adults experience the environment. And so through media like film and virtual reality, we have probably over 100 experiences that we will be launching throughout that 10-day period around the event. And then after, with Earth Day kicking off on Wednesday, April 22nd, our conferences take place that week. We'll have 9 different conferences focused on very important topics. And we'll have banquets every single night.
So everybody gets to eat.
Everybody gets to eat.
So you get to talk and
drink,
then you get to eat.
And,
My kind of place.
And come together and learn more about the environment.
Wow, that is amazing. Let's introduce your guest.
Well,
today.
I'm very excited to introduce
you're like
this guest.
the co-host today.
Thank you.
You brought a guest who, when I drove up, was standing out in the parking lot yelling at his girlfriend on his phone. I mean, it was
my brother.
Oh, it's your brother. Welcome, JJ Dankbaar. Excuse me. He's from somewhere else.
I am. From the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands. And you are with
Smurfit Kappa.
Smurfit
Kappa.
Kappa.
Correct.
Smurfit Kappa.
We're a paper-based packaging company, an integrated paper-based packaging company.
A paper-based packaging company. And you're like an alternative to plastic packaging.
That's one of the, so of course I think people know everything, most of the things that you get at home nowadays in the e-commerce time.
That you can't open.
Yeah. That's definitely one of the things we try to solve.
It's a conspiracy towards anybody that's over 25. You cannot get it open.
No, it's actually these kind of challenges we love, more or less, I would say. So we try to find ways to help consumers, offer them alternatives for plastic as well. So we have great examples that we replace, for example, EPS or polystyrene with honeycomb, but yeah, also other alternatives. It's not more, I would say it's not a fight against plastic, glass or anything. It's just trying to find a more recyclable or more...
Well, we didn't have this problem when I was a kid. Everything came in glass. You know, everything. I mean, we didn't have plastic packaging like we do now. I mean, I'm sure there was plenty of it, but we didn't have it. It's changed. You know, if I can't rip the plastic open with my teeth, I don't want the dadgum thing. And my teeth they're not plastic rippers like they used to be.
Yeah, that's right.
But I am honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. Every time I open something that's wrapped in, you know, shrink fit plastic or whatever, I feel terrible for what I'm doing.
Yes,
it makes me sick what we're doing.
We just had a nice project where we replaced, for example, for a big water heater company. If you open that, because we also look like to have single-use material, so it's make it easy for people to recycle, make it easy to do something good.
Well,
for
that's
nature.
a great thought.
Yeah.
That's a great thought. Yeah.
So and there are alternatives for material.
So you could basically take anything and just look at it out of the box at this point and say, how do we make that better? How do we provide an alternate material that's biodegradable or
repulpable,
recyclable? Yeah.
So at the same time, you have to be conscious as well. It's not that you can fight against materials that have specific properties.
Sure.
So plastic is there for a specific reason as well. So you don't want to completely eliminate that reason as well. But if you have other alternatives, why wouldn't you investigate them?
Yeah. No, that's very interesting.
We're really excited about Smurfit Kappa being a part of EarthX. Last summer, we actually put together a partnership that became the largest sponsorship ever in EarthX's history.
Wow.
And by the way, this is our 10th year doing this event also. So we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary while the planet is celebrating the 50th anniversary.
So this is the 10-year of the EarthX.
That's right.
And I think we've been promoting you probably about half of that.
I think so.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
So
Smurfit
has come on board and been a fantastic partner. At the Expo, which takes place April 24th through the 26th, they will have a very prominent major pavilion called the Packaging Experience, educating all of our green consumers who attend the event the importance of what they do.
So where is Smurfit Kappa located? I mean, what country?
So-
Are you local?
No, we're a global-based paper packaging supplier. So our headquarters, financial headquarters, is in Dublin, Ireland. Operational headquarters in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. But we have operations throughout 35 countries in the world,
Wow.
mainly Europe, Latin America, and North America. And here, Dallas, I came over in 2016. I was able to open the headquarters for Smurfit Kappa North America.
Well, that's fantastic. That's
is.
great. Yeah, man, that's awesome. So let's talk a little bit more about EarthX.
Oh yeah, you bet.
So I told my wife what you told me about this famous person coming, and she has this story about following. She saw him in Santa Fe when she was driving through Santa Fe, and she whipped around, did a Batman U-turn, and chased him, and he got away. And she told somebody, and about 3 or 4 weeks later, she got an autographed picture from him.
Really?
That's the kind of guy he is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, you're
amazing.
referring to Robert Redford?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. On April the 25th, we're really excited about this because Robert Redford and his wife, Sybil Redford, are going to present The Way of the Rain, A Hope for the Earth. And it is going to take place at the Music Hall at Fair Park. This is a world premiere, and Robert Redford will be attending. In fact, this production is going to be narrated by Robert Redford. So
wow.
we're really excited about that event. We've also got a number of other notable names who have joined EarthX this year. We're really excited that this year we've got a very major partnership with National Geographic. And so Nat Geo will be bringing over 5,000 square feet of environmental content. They'll be bringing a lot of their notable speakers to our event. By the way, we'll have over 34 stages between our conferences and our expo where world-renowned speakers, and Nat Geo will be bringing this class that they call the Celebrity Explorers. So people can come out and learn and listen to the people who are actually going out to Antarctica, who are going out to the deserts and going out and experiencing and capturing this great content. They will come and talk about what's really going on.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to make Ross tell us what's in it for the kids, because, I still read cartoons. And if I'm going to go to this thing, I've got to do something fun that kind of gets to my mental level. We're going to take a quick break.
Sometimes
We'll be
it's a
right back.
question of do I call or don't I call the foundation repair company? Well, what if I tell you that I know a foundation repair company that will tell you if you don't need foundation repair? That's right. Hargrave and Hargrave Foundation Repair has been in business for over 50 years, and they know the difference. One of the last family-owned foundation repair businesses in North Texas. Not only are they honest, they know what causes your foundation to move, and they know how to fix it. Don't be duped by fly-by-night foundation companies that provide shortcuts and messy fixes. Call Hargrave and Hargrave Foundation Repair at 972-442-3415. At the first sign of trouble, Hargrave uses the Chance helical pier system exclusively because it's the highest quality, most reliable helical pier money can buy. 972-442-3415 or contact them at hargravefoundation.com.
Practically being a child himself, JJ Dankbaar, with Smurfit Kappa. He said he designed something just for the kids at EarthX, and he's going to tell us all about it right now.
That's definitely true. So, we actually launched a real nice concept a year ago or 1.5 years ago. It's called the magic of paper, because there is a lot of misunderstanding about how paper is produced, or course, we maybe know that it comes from fibers from trees. But what we're going to do is it's going to be a real nice journey for visitors, where they were going to go on a path through our booth, where they will understand how do we take care of forests as well. So how we take care of the fibers that come from the forest. How do we recollect fibers that are brought to curbside?
I love that.
You're gonna love it.
I absolutely love that. I think that is really fantastic. So you're showing the sort of the journey of the tree, of
Correct.
the forest.
Correct. Yeah.
And then how it gets to what you're doing?
It gets to the paper mill here. We have one in Forney, here in Texas as well. So it's recycled material. It's a big soup that comes together. After that, the pulp is created into paper. Paper moves into corrugated or honeycomb or any type of material.
Whatever it is that you've designed it for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think is fantastic about the business model at Smurfit Kappa is that they are not only a packaging company, but they are also one of the world's largest recycling companies.
Well, that would make sense.
And
yeah.
so their whole business model is circular in the sense that they pick up the corrugate box, they recycle it, and then they make their products from that for many of the major brands across the world.
Wow, that is incredible. So you're gonna the kids go, or the whoever.
Yep.
But sounds like it's kid friendly to me.
It is. I'm going to promise you we even have a gift for you. So
Oh,
make sure
really?
you visit our
Really?
booth. Yeah.
A toothpick.
It's going to be, because you were talking about hands-on activities during the quarantine.
Yeah.
You come over and I'll make sure that you have something to do.
I will be there.
Deal.
I guarantee you. So what else are you doing for the kids?
Oh, yeah.
At the at EarthX.
Yeah, that emphasis is very important. Our founder, who is Trammell S. Crow, real estate mogul, big environmentalist, and has always seen the mission of EarthX to educate not only the public, but especially the youth. Our future depends on the youth. And so a lot of the education, a lot of the information that we can provide at EarthX can be tailored to the youth and will make a big impact, will make a big difference. We will actually have over 7,000 students who will attend EarthX on Friday the 24th on a field trip. Their schools,
the local school system?
well, we've got schools coming from all across Texas and in the Southwest. So that's a very important element. We've got all kinds of activities. We've got an organization that's called March for Science. They will be having a youth summit, and they will be talking about how important it is for youth to be involved in movements like paying more attention to the environment. We've got a hackathon that always takes place at EarthX.
Hackathon, I mean, do you have to have a cold to go?
That's a great question. No, it's an innovative experience. It's 24 hours where teams of young, innovative, creative, technologists will come together. Sponsors like Smurfit Kappa will present challenges to the teams, and they can choose one of the challenges. And then for 24 hours, that Saturday all night and Sunday morning, they will work on a solution to that particular challenge, which is related to the environment.
Wow.
And so then a panel
That's
of judges.
intense.
It goes all night.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's very well attended. Last year we had over, I think, 600 different teams of youth that were working on challenges for the environment. So that's certainly.
I had a conversation with a young lady, and we were having lunch and talking about stuff, and we talked. She said something to me that really kind of threw me back. She said that we were talking about kids, right? And she said, "Well, I just don't want to bring any kids into this world." And I said, and she says, "What do you think? Why do you think someone would do?" And I said, "Let me tell you something. The only way you're going to solve the problem is bringing kids into the world. You're not going to solve the problem by avoiding that. You're not helping anybody by not making babies and teaching them as they grow up, the right way to do things. And that's, I really believe that.
Yeah,
And so
our hope
I
is,
love this whole idea of taking these young minds and showing them what really correcting, I'm not going to say the wrongs, because we didn't know, we did what we did, but teaching them how to overcome it and correct and fix it.
that's right.
Yeah.
And that they're part of the solution. Our future depends on them. So that's always been a very important mission at EarthX. We'll have lots of activities. One I'm very excited about and working on myself will be called EarthX Bike World. And we'll have a big pavilion area where a lot of the bikes and mobility and scooters and things that you can do outside to move around. We believe that's very important because the more people spend time outside, the more they appreciate the environment. But we're really excited that we're going to have all kinds of exhibits within that area. The BMX stunt riders
Are they going to be
come
there?
out. They're going to be
have
out.
fun. And you have
So-
the tiny home village.
We've got the tiny home village. We've got yoga. We've got areas within the expo that focus on different categories that are important. So we'll have an area on the ocean. We'll have an area on wildlife conservation. Of course, Nat Geo will have their area. Many corporations and nonprofit organizations are coming out to present to the public exactly how they're meeting these challenges, how they're helping to change, just like you were talking about earlier, how businesses are changing the way they operate. And the more that is communicated, I think the more people will have hope for how we will solve these challenges with the environment.
Well, JJ, you have the tent. What other activities do you guys have?
We're also part of some speeches or some kind of, we call them speaker sessions. So we have a lot of expertise in the various fields that we would like to share. We're there with a few of our customers as well that share the same passion, like we share the passion with EarthX.
How are the corporations worldwide coming to you?
That's a good question. So I remember, so I have to admit, in Europe, the trend started a little earlier than it started here. But I would say the last 2 years, companies really reach out to us and ask, what can you do to help us to be more sustainable? And that's a very nice place to be in. And I couldn't agree more to the argument earlier. I think education is where it all starts. And also making people aware that they have they should take part in that process as well. So, and if we make it as easy as possible for people to recycle, that's going to be making a big difference.
Part of, I think, the challenge we've had for ever since we really started becoming aware and conscious of the environmental movement and the things that we need to change is convincing us that it's what each one of us does as an individual helps. Because a lot of times you look at yourself and you go, it doesn't matter, it's just a Dr. Pepper can, who cares, but actually that's the wrong attitude. The right attitude is that everything that we do individually makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Overall.
And the most
It's a
important
collective thing.
It is. And the most important thing that we do that people need to think more about is we vote on the policies of how the world works with our dollars. And so the more that consumers pay attention to the companies that they're doing business with, the products that they're buying, the things that are getting shipped to them, if they pay attention as consumers to how those companies are operating and whether or not they're respectful of the environment, whether or not, consumers can better appreciate and align themselves with brands who are eco-friendly, that will trigger the change. And we've always believed that at EarthX, which is why we try to bring corporations together with policymakers, together with nonprofits and conservation groups. The more those groups come together and talk to one another, the more change will accelerate, and that will make a difference for the environment.
I really appreciate you coming in today.
Thank
And
you.
one more time, give us the dates of the events.
April 17th through the 26th, EarthX.org has a wealth of information. You can sign up online to attend our event for free. We're also really excited now that we've got EarthX League, and so people can plug in and subscribe to information that's being published every day by a lot of our partners and learn more about the environment.
JJ, thank you so much for coming in. It's been really a pleasure meeting you, and I'm so glad to learn about alternate packaging for a lot of reasons. I just think it's super important what you guys are doing worldwide. That's really, really impressive. So tell us more about if people want to check out your company, or how do they get in touch with you?
So you can always reach out to me personally via my LinkedIn profile, but reach out to our company's website. Look at the case studies that we have online as well. So we have a lot of cool stuff where we recently, for example, replaced a multi-pack beer cans into a top clip. It's a solution of board as well. So there are so many alternatives that people should be aware of.
If we just figure out how to do something with beer, we'll be fine.
Hey, that's what I thought.
That'll take care of the whole problem.
Well, they're doing it.
Well, I really appreciate you guys being here today.
And we're very
It's
grateful for
really been
their
fun.
support this year.
Yeah, it's been really fun. Okay, so listen, if you're looking for a contractor and you need, let's just say you want to remodel your bathroom, and let's just say somebody came in and said, honey, I can't live with it any longer. The first response out of your mouth should be, call Alex. Call Alex Guthrie Construction, because that's what we do. We do kitchens, baths, room additions. We'll even build you a house. We'd love to hear from you. You can contact me, Alex, at alexguthrie.net. You can call me at 469-446-8508. You can watch this show. You can contact me through the Remodel Revolution, anything, and I'll respond. I'm easy, and I'm fun. So give us a call. And next week, while I'm on that, check out our YouTube site and subscribe. It's Remodel Revolution on YouTube. It's probably Remodel Revolution Radio, but either way, you'll find it. Also, of course, you're watching on Facebook, and we're on Twitter at Remodel Rev, at Remodel Rev. We are on Pinterest. We are on Instagram. We're everywhere. Check us out, like us, and go check out our podcast and subscribe to the podcast. It's really a lot of fun. Also, Sundays, 1 p.m. and 3 p.m., go to Texas Weather TV on your internet, texasweathertv.com, I believe is what it is. And this show will be rerun at 1 o'clock and at 3 o'clock every Sunday. It's our latest show. And subscribe to Texas Weather TV they've got a mobile app as well that I use because I'm out in construction. I'm always worried about the weather. And they're really, really great folks down there. So subscribe to them as well. Next week, I'll announce the show when I have it put together, because I haven't yet. I have the next month after that, but next week I don't have yet. But we'll have something very interesting to do. Thank you so much for being with us today. I look forward to seeing you next week. This is Alex Guthrie signing off.
The views and opinions of this program are for educational and entertainment purposes only and are not intended to replace the recommendations of a hired professional. You can catch Remodel Revolution anytime. Follow the show on the website, remodelrevolutionradio.com, or on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, using the handle at Remodel Revolution Radio. You can always listen to the show on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and TuneIn, and watch the show anytime on YouTube.